So back in the day, there's only cigarettes. Now there's vaping, and people say smoke is better than vaping. But I think the two of them are bad for your health at the same time, especially for young people. I know for a fact, and I know so many people have told me this, that there is an extreme amount of young people vaping because shops are selling them vapes instead of cigarettes. And I don't now. I know a few shops, and I'm sure the guards have dealt with them already. But it's the same as smoking. Children should not be sold them, especially young children. Like what was happening with a while ago with people being sold vapes that were very young was a disgrace. And lucky the guards shut that down very quickly because of how much pressure was put on them. But and I say this to young people. What happened? What's either some young people have it in their mind that they have to drink or smoke or they have to vape. And I say to people, I haven't done any of them. I haven't done any of them in my young life. Not so young, um, but I'm healthy. Like I'm mentally unstable. Let's be honest. I'm mentally unstable. I'm prone to depression very often. Let's be honest. Let's put the nail on the head before the head goes onto the nail. And let's just say that. But I never went to drink, or never went to drugs, or never went to smoke. And I say to people, you're a lot more healthier, you're a lot more happier. Well, in my case, a tiny bit happier. But you're not more satisfied that you don't have to spend. Like people I know people who just buy five boxes after five boxes, bags of fags, a box of fags actually, sorry, not bags of fags. Like they're selling them 5 boxes now. And they spend a good €50 nearly a week on them. Like it's an absurd amount of money to spend on it. And as I said to somebody one day, if you're trying to stop smoking, if you put away the money you use for buying boxes of fags, right, you could nearly afford a holiday in 3 months. And I'm not kidding you, because the price of fags nowadays are ridiculous. But I commend the government for putting them up. I commend them because it is. I'm not saying this to be bad or to be annoying to people. And I know people like the odd fag and everything like that, but let's be honest, they are bad for your health, they're bad for your lungs. Let's be honest. And vaping is no better. And I say to young people, please cop on. Please just cop on. Because, there's people and let's be honest, I'm going to be very, very honest with people. There is some thugs and there's some idiots in this society and who are 20 or over 20 or between the ages of 20 and 30 who are trying to give people vapes to try and get them smoking and the rest of that. And thankfully some gals in Cavan have got a few of them cuts. And, they're going to face a few years in prison. And I'm happy for it. I was delighted to hear that they get 3 or 4 years in prison. And, they won't really end up well in the prisons. They really won't end up very well. Treat kids like animals. That's basically what they were trying to do. And, more or less saying, you have to buy this off me every week. This is great vape. This is a great, taste in this vape or whatever the fuck they want to use it. And forgive me for my language, but, this is the crack that we're dealing with now in this society. We're dealing with people who are just selfish and who don't care for this. For one of all, they don't care for the young people of Ireland. Second of all, they don't care for themselves. Third of all, the only thing they care about is money. And there's huge profit to be made in selling kids fags and vapes and everything. And I'm saying to people, there's always a better route. There's always a better route. And, I'm saying to people, if you know a shop or anything that's selling fags or drink to any underage person, it's your responsibility as a citizen of Ireland and as a person who pays taxes to Ireland to inform the local authorities. And I know people say rats get stitches. Forget about that. People's health and people's lives matter. And law is the law, and we have to do whatever we can to enforce it. Because sadly the guards are turning blind eyes to this. And, not too more will we, because I'm going to push very hardly around Cavan for greater enforcement. Hugely greater enforcement of it. I've already been speaking to a few people about greater enforcement of it. And there will be good enforcement of it, I'm sure there will be. Because, we caused a bit of a ruckus already, so when I start causing ruckuses, this business. This business. Well, there will be business because I start causing ruckuses up in Dublin. And that didn't end too well. But I'm just saying to people, stay away from vapes, stay away from drinks, stay away from drugs. Tell drug dealers to go throw themselves into Cavan Town, Garda Station, or what's common Garda Station, whatever Garda Station they feel like throwing themselves into, and just say to the guys, lock them up and throw away the key. End of story. Because people who sell drug to kids or alcohol to kids, they're selfish. Just selfish people. The only thing they care about is the profit. It's just, it really frustrates me. Really, really frustrates me that people are so sick in this society to do that. But I suppose that's life. And we have to try, and I know people say this is pointless saying this, but you always have to try in society. Like, I'm trying every day to force the girls to move themselves. But you always have to speak out. And that's what I'm doing, speaking out. I don't give a damn if the people who sell fags come and say, what's the problem? I give them the problem. I give them a crowd problem that they won't get rid of. So, it's always good to speak out. Because we can't let this happen. We can't let our young people can't be brainwashed by these thugs who just think it's alright to sell drugs and drink to kids in this country. Full stop.